you are going to experience stress. That is a given in life, and you can either grow from it or you can be torn down by it. Now, there are many factors that dictate whether you grow through it or are torn down by it. There are the life sustaining aspects that you enjoy. Maybe you have good exercise, good nervous system care, good diet, good stress management, all those things. Then there are the not so life sustaining aspects. That could be things that you know, could be things that you don't know. We have to weigh those. And based upon them, that helps us understand whether we can grow through stress or not. Now, if you watched any of these videos yet, then you're probably aware of things like traumas, toxins, and thoughts. All of those are going to be broad categories of stress that we can experience. Any one of those stressors, if experienced in too great a magnitude or too constant of a frequency, can cause what we call subluxation. This is neurological interference. This is when stress is now not being grown through. This is when stress is stuck on. In the beginning, little pieces of it doesn't really do too much. Over time, stack all of this up, you can start to experience dysfunction. And this dysfunction shows itself in many, many different ways. So you can have pain, you can have functional problems such as your gut, tummy, or immune system. You can find yourself with certain mental habits that are difficult, focus problems, sleep. What say you? Now, all these stressors, when we have a balanced nervous system, we have a better time growing through them, adapting to them. We have more resilience. Therefore, we're able to experience that stressor again, and it has no effect on us. And that's the goal, is building more resiliency, building more adaptability. That's what we do here as chiropractors at Flow Life. We focus on your nervous system to give you the ability to engage in life. Now, what is the perfect storm? The perfect storm is a myriad of these stressors, traumas, toxins, and thoughts that can severely affect a developing nervous system in a newborn or young child. So where does it all begin? It begins at maternal distress. Maternal distress during pregnancy is going to release cortisol, the stress hormone. It is a natural phenomenon. Now, when stress is released, that cortisol is released, baby has a placenta. That placenta has a mechanism to deactivate cortisol. Therefore, cortisol has no effect on it. This is so important because mom's nervous system teaches baby's nervous system. The umbilical cord is not just nutrients in, waste out. It's also a neurological connection. So all neurological feelings or experiences that mom goes through, baby's going to go through as well. So the more we can support mom, the more we can take care of her, the better outcomes for baby. But what happens when this protective mechanism of nullifying that cortisol gets overwhelmed? Well, now cortisol is going to be affecting this child, and their nervous system is a blank slate. Their nervous system forms at 2 to 4 weeks, times when most people may not even know that they're pregnant. So that cortisol hypersensitizes that nervous system to activate the gas pedal that much easier. Gas pedal is fight or flight, stress response, protection. We see something that's not safe, that's what activates. So now we have made that more sensitive. As we go through this, maternal distress can increase the probability that moms experience more interventions at birth. This can include, but it's not limited to, induction, epidural, antibiotics, manual, vacuum, or forceps extraction, or even C-section. Now, when all these things are taking place, the air felt by baby the entire time, especially those extraction methods in the C-section. Now, those extraction methods in C-section are fantastic at preserving life, and I'm so grateful for that. But what are the neurological consequences? These kids need to be checked sooner, their nervous systems taken care of and adjusted sooner, because the head is not independent of the rest of the body in a newborn. The head, when it is used to create all this force to get baby out of the birth canal or get baby earthside, that force is translated through the entire upper cervical portion of the nervous system, occiput C1 and C2. What lives there? What neurological structure is there? The brainstem and the headquarters for the vagus nerve. The brainstem is the most foundational piece for all life functions that we need to stay alive. So you're talking breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, sleeping. We've got latching, we've got eating, we've got digestion. All those things are happening at this region of the nervous system. And you're going to tell me that we're going to introduce these physical traumas to a baby's immature and new nervous system right out the gate. So if those portions of the nervous system are physically damaged, then guess what? Baby has a hard time doing the basics: eating, sleeping, pooping. And if the basics aren't done well, guess what? Anything that comes after them is going to be even more challenging. This is where the cascade of events really starts to speed up. This leads to cases where babies develop colic. Well, if you're constantly in fight or flight trying to protect yourself and don't understand safety, you might be hard to self-soothe as well. You got colic, you got constipation. If you're running from a saber-toothed tiger, you're not going to be worried about pooping. So colic and constipation are common things that we see. Constipation is huge because toxins are going to be developed in the gut and the neurogastric system. That's a natural process. But how do we get rid of them? We poop. So if those toxins back up, guess what? You can develop skin conditions because it's either coming out the north end, the south end, or the skin. That is your body's way of detoxification and elimination. And I'm also here to tell you that they don't grow out of these things. They grow into new ones. So the colic and constipation can grow into more of those skin conditions, to grow into those unstable toddlers that have big emotions. And there's nothing wrong with seeing emotions and working through them, but parents who have experienced this can tell the difference of a toddler who needs to work through emotions versus a toddler that can never soothe or never regulate. This can also lead to more of those ADHD-like behaviors. So you got the ADHD-like behaviors, kids that don't redirect well or have no desire to really engage. And unfortunately, we also see a lot of kick the sick kiddos develop at this time. Ear infections, colds, respiratory illness, croup, even developing asthma later on, because the entire neurogastric system is one long muscular tube. It's plumbing. And if things don't move through it well, then the toxins get stuck. And where's most of your immune system? In your neurogastric lining. So all this junk from the ear, nose, and throat all the way down to the butt has to get out at some point in time and move through the neurogastric system. That takes muscle coordination, that takes sensory input, all of which are confused by subluxation, this neurological interference. And furthermore, these ADHD-like behaviors, they can exhaust a child's resources. Sleep is going to be a problem. Sleep is a huge aspect in restoration. They can develop into angsty teens, anxiety, and if you know anything about mental illness, one is commonly associated with the other. So we end up on medications to try and negate all these behaviors, but the root of it is all still there. Inevitably, this leads to the exhausted adults that are growing into more and more things that we don't have an explanation for. Because their nervous system never understood safety from the beginning of life, they've constantly operated from a fight or flight complex, and you cannot be in growth and protection mode at the same time. This inevitably is the perfect storm, this perfect blend of stressors that severely interferes with the developing nervous system and makes thriving in life extremely difficult. And if this is resonating with you, you've either lived it or you're seeing your kid or another kid go through it, it can feel very hopeless at times. But I'm here to tell you that there is hope. You might have looked into detoxes, natural supplements, therapies, all other sorts of things, especially for the autistic families that experience these kinds of stuffs. You've probably done it all. But guess what? If you haven't seen the results you wanted to see, have you looked at the neurological level yet? The nervous system is the foundation for everything. So all that extra stuff you want to add in, is there a good foundation to support it and get the most benefit? And if you've seen small improvements, no improvements, or plateaus, then look to the neuro level. And that starts with getting scanned, getting adjusted. Our scanners here show how the nervous system is functioning in real time, what it's receiving. Based upon what it receives will dictate what it puts out. The outputs are constantly what we're always associated with or obsessed with, because we see symptoms, we see behaviors, we see expressions. But there needs to be an input to create that output. What does the internal system do? That's where we look for the stuck stress and tension. We adjust it with gentle adjustments that are going to look very different compared to other chiropractors, because we're pediatric specialists here. So guess what? You don't need these giant thrusts. That's terrifying. That doesn't work for kids. You don't want to do that. These gentle adjustments help release the stuck stress and tension, engage the vagus nerve once again, get that child on that path to rest, regulation, digest, and growth. And I wish it happened in one adjustment, but it doesn't happen in an adjustment. It happens in adjustments, plural, because there might be years of stuck stress and tension to work through. Therefore, we always go back into the birth history and we ask questions to figure out how much stress did they go through, when did it start. That dictates our plans more than anything. Our scans will dictate the rest, because the scans dictate the plans. And I'm here to tell you that there is hope for you, for your child, for another child. Yes, we specialize in pediatrics, but guess what? This applies to anyone. But the sooner that we can get a kid out of the storm, the sooner we can get them to thriving in life the way that they deserve. So if this resonates with you, your child, or someone you know, like this video, share it with them, subscribe for more content, and if you want to make an action step today to support yourself or your child, click the link in our description and get signed up today. Get signed up for your neurological scan. We'll build you a custom care plan. We'll get you on the path to health and wellness the way that you deserve. I'm Dr. Noah Williamson with Flow of Chiropractic. I'm here to serve you in Eldersburg, Maryland, and I can't wait to meet you.